So I'm just in Spain and I've just finished up writing a blog, and my ego and not feeling good enough nearly took my life from me. And it's weird because I've lived like 3 different lives and I've been like 3 different people. And the person that I am now is the only person that's actually brought true fulfillment in my life. I'll show you the stages. The first stage of me was young Jack, egotistical boy, lived for the weekend, drinking, doing drugs, fighting to build up a reputation, chasing women all of the time. I had no goals, no dreams, no visions, just the weekend, that was it. And it's because I had no belief in myself at all, like none at all. I didn't believe that I would amount to anything in my life. So all I was just a young egotistical boy with no guidance, with no aspirations, and just self-sabotaging in his life. Now look, I had a lot of fun doing what I was doing, but that also become a detriment to me. But I didn't have anyone to really aspire to be or look up to, and I was just heavily influenced by the environment and the culture that I grew up in and some of the older people in my life, right? But that nearly cost me my whole entire life. And I'm so glad that I'd done it at that stage in my life rather than at a point, well, I wouldn't even have got there. But if I had millions, I would have been dead. And that is as simple as it is, because I nearly killed myself on that level. And that was just me driving a Merc, having a Rolex, you know, being with multiple women, all of that. And I thought I was the fucking man, right? But that nearly cost me my life. But then even as I broke away from that version of me, I then stepped into this new version of me. Someone that was, I would say, I'm going to say a young man, right? I went from a young boy to a young man. Someone that was achieving a lot externally, like, I went sober, I built a successful coaching business, I was changing lives, I run a sub 3-hour marathon, then I become a public speaker, then I was doing a podcast, I built a social media following, then I was earning more money, right? I went from, I don't know, earning, multiple figures a month, and then I was running 100 mile, right? But then after the 100 mile, it all come crashing down for me because it was all still fueled by ego and not feeling good enough. It was like I just wanted to be validated and seen, and I wanted people to think like that you're the man, or you can do things, or like I'm disciplined, or I'm consistent, or I'm resilient. Like it was just all based solely on ego. Ego. And don't get me wrong, looking back, I'm so proud of all of them accomplishments that I've achieved. But after every single achievement, I just felt empty. I just felt like there was something missing. I don't know what it was. I would do the sub 3-hour marathon. I would make great pieces of content. You know, I would do the public speaking event. Like there was so many things that I was proud of, but there was so many things that I just felt unfulfilled with after. And it weren't because I was not happy about them. It was more because a lot of it was coming from a place of ego and to impress people and to feel validated and seen. And when your worth is always tied in other people's hands and you don't get the round of applause that you want, you're never going to feel good about what it is. And there's always going to be the next thing. You achieve it and you look at someone else and go, well, they've done better than me, or I'm not quite there yet. So you get on to the next thing, but the next thing is coming from a place of fear. It's coming from a place of fear, of not feeling enough, of not being good enough, of just don't feel like you've achieved enough. So you get to that next thing, or you chase that next thing. I think that's what's gonna give you that feeling that you want, but it's not. And I realized that after completing that 100 mile, I just felt empty, and it was such a hard period of my life because it's the first time ever I thought, you know what? I don't know if I've got what it takes. I don't know if I got what it takes. I was burnt out. I tried running a sub 250 marathon, getting into the training. Something inside of me was like, I don't want to do this. I couldn't stay disciplined or committed to it. And I had to sit with myself for a long time and not do anything. Not chase another goal, not do anything for other people, just sit in that emptiness, in that loneliness, in that stage of not doing. And I come to the conclusion that I needed to come from a different place. And something inside of me was like, you've proved enough, you've done enough, you've achieved enough, and you need to stop going after goals for everyone else, or even to prove to yourself. You've proved enough to yourself. And what was fueling me before was coming from that place of fear, coming from that place of validation, and wanting to be seen by everyone else, and everyone, you know, feeling something about me. And it probably comes from childhood. Maybe I lacked something, and that belief drove me, and it drove me to great things, right? And I believe that people spend the rest of their life chasing after this feeling of being significant, of feeling seen, of being heard, all based on old beliefs. But something says you've proved enough. So I had to sit with myself and start thinking about what it is that's actually getting me up every single day. What is the fuel? And that is when I come from this place that I now call alignment. I was like, what is going to get me going? So why do you want to do this, you know, sub 250? Or why do you want to run after this 200 mile? Or why do you want to build the social media following? It has to come from alignment and not fear. And alignment meant not trying to prove yourself. And it meant accepting who you are, but staying in line with what matters to you. What mattered to me was my purpose. What mattered to me was growth. What mattered to me was my intentions. What mattered to me was my character. What mattered to me was my values. What mattered to me is connecting to something outside of myself. And that's what I started to do. I started to plan everything. I had to look at everything and break everything down and really start understanding bit by bit and questioning every single part of me, which I was doing before, not to this extent. Because when I say I lost my fuel, I lost my fire, it was gone. And I questioned myself. I thought, you are done. There's no way. Because I was trying to prove myself all of the time, and I had a chip on my shoulder, and it was all coming from ego. But I just hit a wall. And it weren't taking me any further. And that's when I needed to sit down with myself. So what does coming from alignment look like for me now? And by the way, I know this is the fuel that you need that can take you on for the rest of your life. Purpose. Cool, who do I want to be? Really understanding who I want to be in life. Nice, why do I want to be this person? And that why had to come for me. Why do I want to be this person? To make myself proud, to inspire people because I was the person that they are now. Nice, what goals do I want to achieve? That's when I had to sit with these goals. And the next goal was going to be the 200 mile. And the question was, why are you doing it? Are you trying to prove yourself again? No, I'm not. Why am I doing it? Because it will make myself feel proud. It will make me feel great. It will be a great adventure with my family. And the question that got me to commit to that was, would I do it if no one else saw? And I fucking would. So let's go with it. So we figured my goals out, the life I want to create. What am I waking up? What am I spending my time doing? Is this something that I'm doing for me, or am I doing it for other people? And then why? The deep emotional reasons why. So that's the number one thing with alignment. Always purpose, and it has to be for the right reasons. Then it went into my values. What are my values? What do I value? So making sure that every single day I'm being very intentional and aligning everything that I'm doing with my own values and not no one else. There's times in the past where I've got trapped in working really late at night and like, I have to do this because this is what it takes to be successful, or I can't rest, or I can't have to work on the Sunday. And it was all from someone else's values. So I just had to realign with all of my values and make sure that everything that I do every single day is aligned with me and what I want for my life. And then growing for me and not to prove. Before, it would be like, you have to get up every single day, stick to your training program, make sure you study, make sure you eat all of your food and be disciplined, make sure that you hit all of these targets, because if you don't, you're not good enough, or you're not disciplined enough. And how's that going to look for everyone else? Can you see the pressure and intensity that I put on myself? But by saying I have to grow for me and not to prove, everything changed. Why do I want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning? Not because it shows that I'm disciplined, but because I know when I do that, it makes me feel great, and it makes me then tick the next box of what I want to do for myself. Why am I studying? Because I want to be the best at what I do. Why? Because I want to feel proud about myself, because I can inspire more people, I can change more lives when I know exactly what I'm talking about and what I'm doing. So then I started to make sure that everything that I was doing was for growth and not achievement, but growing for me and not to prove to everyone else that I am someone. This is the thing. So it was purpose, so it was value, so it was growth, my intentions. Whew, this was a big one. I used to post all of the time, but maybe this was for views and likes and validation, and I started to check my intentions. Jack, why are you posting this post? Is it because you want round of applause? Is it because you want likes? Is it because you want people to celebrate and pat you on the back? Or is it for you? Is it to inspire? Is it to build a great brand, to change people's lives? And if it's ever coming from that place of ego and fear, it needs to go. Simple as that. Then it was making sure that everything that I'd done was conscious. I needed to be consciously aware to ensure that I was staying committed to all of these things. And as I mentioned earlier, connecting to something outside of myself. I've recently become a Christian and become connected to God. Now, this might not be everyone's cup of tea, but for me, it felt like I was needed. So I started to check my intentions and check, is this aligned with what God or the way that they're teaching you how to live your life? Is this for me? Is this for ego? Or can I trust that there's something else outside of me guiding me to be a better individual? And maybe that's their plan and I need to follow that plan. And something that was really hard for me is surrender. Surrender. I'm so controlling over everything. And I just started to surrender by saying, I trust you, meaning I trust you, God. And that was just me letting things out of my own control, my own grip. Because when it's in your control and grip all of the time, this is ego and this is fear. And the thing that allowed me to really feel good enough about myself too was knowing that I have a daughter and she is good enough the way that she is. And I believe that I am God's son and I'm enough in that person's eyes. And that really gave me strength, and that allowed me to feel good enough in myself by, number one, looking at my daughter and know that she's good enough, knowing that God loves me already the way that I am. That means that I'm good enough. And that is alignment. That is staying in alignment with the best of who you are, with the core of who you are. So I made sure I was aligned with my purpose. I made sure that I was aligned with my values. I made sure that I was growing for myself and not to prove. I made sure that I got my intentions in check. I made sure that I was connected to God and the best of me. And the way that I was able to do this, which I touched on a minute ago, was just being consciously aware. Because whenever you're running on that subconscious, that's old programming, old beliefs, and it's always telling you what to do. You have to do more, you have to do more. You're not good enough until you achieve. You're not good enough about yourself. You're not loved, you're not worthy, you're not capable. And all of that old programming that got conditioned as a child, I had to make sure that I was consciously aware of what was running. And then I had to step away from fear and start stepping into the man that I wanted to be. And that was by consciously deciding to make better decisions aligned with my purpose, aligned with my values, aligned with growth, checking my intentions, and aligned with something outside of myself. And by coming from that place of alignment over fear, listen, I was driven before, I was motivated, I was energized, but everything was from a place of pain and punishment. Where when you're coming from a place of alignment, you have more energy. You have more confidence, because your confidence is not linked to someone outside of yourself. Because whenever you're waiting for someone else to applaud and praise you, your confidence fluctuates. You have a good month, you're more confident. You have a bad month, you're not that confident. And if someone's praising and recognizing you, you feel more confident. But when you come from that place of alignment, your confidence is stable, your energy is stable, you're self-motivating. It doesn't matter what's happening externally, because internally you feel fulfilled, you feel connected. My confidence went up, my energy went up, my self-esteem went up, my drive went up, my motivation went up, my resilience went up. I'll tell you what was a big one for me, being able to rest. I couldn't rest before. I always had to do something. And listen, I'd like doing it now, but because I want to do it, not because I feel like I'm not good enough if I don't do it. And that was a massive shift for me. I love to do, I love to work, I love to achieve. But if I don't, it doesn't mean that I'm not good enough and I'm a failure. Whenever you're coming from that place of fear, whenever you're coming from that place of ego, it's all for the wrong things. In the past, I wanted to get in shape. Why? To impress everyone, to show everyone I'm disciplined. What a weak fucking mindset that is. Who am I impressing? Like, I've got a missus. Who am I impressing? Men? Women? Like, what? Why do I need to do that? I don't need to do that. It's ridiculous. And you see some of the most successful people out there with all the nice cars, with all the nice watches, in the best fucking shape, but it's all coming from a place of, I do not feel good enough in myself. I do not feel loved. And they need all of these external things to feel significant and validated. But if no one validates them, or you take all of these things away, they are nothing at the core. But when you come from that place of alignment and you self-validate, you praise and recognize yourself, and you fully accept yourself for who you are, you're fucking powerful. Because all you care about is yourself. All you care about is your own opinions, your own judgment upon yourself. And you come from this whole new mindset. It's not about everyone else and improving and proving and trying to feel validated. It's you internally validating yourself. And by living in alignment, not fear, I've had more confidence, I've had more energy, I've been more disciplined, I've been more resilient, I've been more motivated, I've felt more fulfilled, and my life has fucking got better in every single area and aspect of my life. And this is the next steps for me, man. I'm going through my own transition and journey, but it's the best and most peace. I'm at fucking peace. Something that's took me a long time to get. Now, I'm not perfect. I'm always trying to do better. There's times when I slip into ego, and ego is not all bad, but that unhealthy ego is bad. But the more I tap into alignment, instead of ego, instead of fear, that is at the core, the best version of me. And I'm already making great changes in my own life because of it, but I've also started to help a lot of my clients come through this transition too, because I work with a lot of individuals that are highly successful. They've achieved everything externally and they still don't feel good enough. They still don't feel fulfilled or loved, and they're probably going to try and chase and achieve and do even more, but it's all going to come crashing down. And some people never learn that lesson, but I'm glad that I learned that lesson now at 33 years old. Only achieve what I've achieved. I'm not a millionaire, I'm not driving Ferraris, I've not fucking got mansions, but I've learned this lesson now. And I'm so glad that all of the lessons that I've learned have come so early on in life, because I'm telling you now, if I was a millionaire back in the day, I would be dead. And if I didn't learn these lessons now, I know the heights that I'm going, I know how far I'm taking this. I could have fell down a very, very, very dark path. But by learning this now, it's only gonna allow me to have more fulfillment in life and stay true to the best version of me.